On this video, we're gonna be solving equations with variables on each side of the equal sign. The idea is to isolate the variable, and we need to move all the variables to one side of the equal sign and all the numbers to the other side. Well, here we have two variables, one on each side of the equal sign. I could actually get rid of 4x or 3x. It's up to you. You get to pick. On this case, what I want to do is I want to get rid of this 3x. 3x is positive. To get to get rid of it, I have to make it 0. So that means I'll be subtracting 3x, and whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do it to the other side. So subtracting 3x. Now, 3x minus 3x is going to be 0, so it cancels. On the other side, 4x is positive, and this one is negative 3x. So whenever they have different sign, subtract and keep the sign of the biggest number. The biggest number is going to be positive, so I'm going to get 1x, and the number 1 is going to be multiplying x. So 1 times x, you're going to write only x. Then bring down negative 10, and all of that equals to negative 6. The next step, I need to isolate x, so I have to get rid of this 10. To get rid of it, I have to make it 0. Because it's negative, I have to do the opposite of subtracting, which is adding 10. Adding 10. Whenever they have different sign, subtract and get the sign of the biggest number. But on this case, this is going to be 0. And that's how we're going to end up with x equals. Can you see that they have different sign? Subtract, give the sign of the biggest number. So the biggest number is positive. So then the answer should be x equals to 4. And that's the answer. X is by itself now. Well, let's do the next one. For the next one more time, we need x to be by itself. And we have to get rid of, on this case, either 10x or 12x. You get to pick. And I want to get rid of this 10x. In that way, if I make it 0, I'm going to have all the variables on the other side, right? So 10 is positive. To make it 0, then I'm going to do the opposite. So that means I'll be subtracting 10x to make it 0. Then I'll do the same thing on the other side, subtracting 10x. Now on this case, 10x minus 10x, this is gonna cancel. It's gonna be 0. On the other side, I have 12x. Number 12 is positive, and this one is negative. They have different sign. Subtract and keep the sign of the biggest number. The biggest number is positive, so I'm gonna end up with positive 2x. Then I'm gonna bring down negative 5. So I'm gonna just bring it down, negative 5. And on the other side, all of that equals to positive 3. Then I have to get rid of this negative 5. So to get rid of it, I'm gonna be adding 5, adding 5. Okay, positive and negative 5, that is gonna be 0. They cancel each other out. And that's how you end up with 2 times x equals 5 plus 3 is gonna be 8. They have the same sign, add it up and keep the sign. And then 2 is multiplying x. I know I say 2x, but what we have in between them is multiplication. Anytime when a number is next to the variable, it means that you have to multiply it, or you are multiplying. Now, to get rid of it, I have to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing by 2, dividing by 2. If I divide by 2, I'm going to get 1. And that was the idea, because 1 times x, you're going to get x. On the other side, 8 divided by 2, the answer is 4. And now x is by itself, and the answer is going to be x equals to 4. The next one, okay? One more time, we need to isolate the variable. I will either get rid of this 5x or 10x, okay? And it's up to you, you get to pick. Now I want to get rid of this 5x. 5x is positive. To make it 0, I'm going to be subtracting 5x. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, subtracting 5x. Then positive and negative 5, they cancel each other out. That is going to be 0. That's how we're going to get negative 10 equals. On the other side, can you see that they have different sign? Subtract and keep the sign of the biggest number. So the biggest number is positive. That's how we're going to get positive 5x. Then this plus 15, I'm going to just bring it down. And now this is the two-step equation. I have to get rid of this 15. I'm going to have to make it 0. So I'm going to do the opposite. So because we're adding, to get rid of it, I'm going to make it 0 by subtracting 15. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Wow. On the other side, I'm going to be subtracting 15. Now, positive and negative 15, that is going to be 0. They cancel each other out. That's how you end up only with 5x. On the other side, can you see that both numbers are negative? Add it up and keep the sign. And now the last step. 5 is multiplying x. To get rid of it, I have to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. This line, it means I'm dividing by 5, dividing by 5. 5 divided by 5, you get 1. 1 times x, you're going to get x equals. On the other side, can you see that you are dividing a negative by a positive? Well, whenever you multiply or whenever you divide, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to cancel the two signs that you have in that division. You are dividing a positive with a negative, right? Can you see this? So it means that the answer should be negative. And now I'm going to divide 25 divided by 5. So the answer is going to be negative 5. The way how we read it is this way. X equals negative 5. Okay, you always going to find the value of x. So the answer should be x equals to negative 5. And now I'm going to do the last one. So one more time, we have variables on each side of the equal sign. So I can get rid of this negative 5x or negative 7x. It's up to you. Well, in this case, I want to get rid of this negative 7x. To make it 0, I'm going to do the opposite. So because it's negative, I have to add 7x, adding 7x. Negative 7, x and positive 7x, this is going to be 0. That's how we're going to end up only with negative 3. On the other side, can you see that they have different sign? Subtract, keep the sign of the biggest number. That's how you get positive 2x. And now rewrite the plus 3, bring it down. The next step, I have to get rid of this number 3 and this number 2. Okay, so I'm going to start by getting rid of this 3 by doing the opposite, make it 0 by subtracting 3, subtracting 3. Positive and negative 3 is going to be 0. That's how we're going to end up only with 2x. On the other side, can you see that both numbers are negative? They have the same sign, add it up, and keep the sign. That's how you get negative 6. And now the last step. I know I say 2x, but it means 2 times x. To get rid of it, I have to make it 1. So I'm going to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. Dividing by 2, dividing by 2. Now 2 divides 2, that's 1, right? Well, 1 times x, that's how we're going to get x equals negative divided by a positive. Well, one more time, we're going to be uh, we're going to be dividing a negative and a positive. So what you're going to do, you're just going to cover the two signs that you have in that division. Okay, and that tells you that the answer is negative. And then divide 6 by 2, so you get 3. The answer, x equals negative 3. That's the answer.